Let's talk about grading back into activity. So you can use this framework for just about anything. So when we think about activities, they have variables. The three variables that come to mind are intensity, how hard you do something, duration, the amount of time that you do that thing, and the frequency, the number of times a week that you do said activity. So when it comes to variables and grading back into activity, we only want to change one variable at once. If we change more than one variable, we don't know how things influence you, and say you have a setback, we don't know how to adjust that thing, or say you do really well, we don't know how to progress that thing further. So, with that being said, here is a general guideline of how to grade back into activities. I like to do over the course of 1 to 2 weeks. So say for example, you set your parameters in terms of your intensity, your duration, and your frequency. You do that for the first 2 weeks. At the end of the first 2 weeks, you ask yourself this question: which variable do I want to change? Whichever variable is more important to you, whether it be the intensity, the duration, or the frequency. You do that for another couple of weeks, everything goes well, and then you ask yourself the same question: which one variable do I want to change? The intensity, the duration, or the frequency? Say you continue to do this for, 6 to 8 to 12 weeks, and you have a flare-up. Do it more than once. So one bad session, we don't want to get burned from that. If we do it twice, now there's more of a correlation, we have more data. My advice to you would be go back to the previous week where you had success, try that out, and if that doesn't work, continue to regress back until you find something suitable that works well for you. So for example, we'll take a look at walking on an inclined treadmill. So when we think about the variables, we think about the duration, the time you spend on the treadmill. We think about the frequency, the number of times you do your treadmill walk, and then for intensity, we have two things that come to mind: the speed at which you walk, the miles per hour, as well as the incline. So say for example, weeks 1 through 2, your duration is 30 minutes. Your intensity will be 3.5 miles per hour. Your incline will be 2. And the frequency will be 3 times a week. So say you do that for 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, that goes awesome. Now you can ask yourself this question: which variable do I want to change? So do I want to change the intensity? And when you would change the intensity, you only want to change one of the intensity variables, whether it be the miles per hour or the amount of incline. Whichever is more important to you. But then that means you cannot change the duration or the frequency, which will remain at 30 minutes, and the incline will remain at 2. So say you do that for weeks 3 through 4, you ask yourself the same question again, and now you want to change the duration. You want to make it a bit longer. So say you go from 30 to 40 minutes. The intensity still stays the same at 3.5 miles per hour. The incline stays the same at the new 3 that you established, and then your frequency is still, 3 times a week. So I hope this makes a little bit of sense. The whole idea that I want you to take away from this is you're only changing one variable at once. Whichever means the most to you. You go through 2 weeks, you have great success, and then you change something, one thing. If you don't have success, you're gonna go back to where you started to have success, try that over again. Maybe you need to do it for an additional 2 weeks or so on and so forth, until that feels really easy, until this progression is now more tolerable for you. Overall, what we're trying to do is increase capacity of your body's resilience to do the things that you want to do. So I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please reach out.